Welcome back. The annual John P. Garrahan Community Prayer Breakfast is coming up at the end of April. Today we welcome Kathleen Garrahan to learn a little bit more about the event and what it means to the community. Thanks so much for coming in.
Very welcome. Very happy to be here.
So I understand the breakfast is in its 26th year.
Yes.
That's very exciting. Can you tell us how it all got started?
Yes. In 1993, my dad, John Garrahan, was coming into his role as chair of the Metro West Chamber of Commerce, and he wanted to have a project that he could, make his mark. So he had heard of a breakfast that the city of Newton had every year. It's called the Mayor's Community Prayer Breakfast, I believe, and it's commonly known as the Teddy Man Breakfast. And it's a very popular event. And one of the young attorneys at the law firm, my dad was a senior partner at Bowditch and Dewey, had mentioned to him that his family went to this breakfast every year. So my dad thought, this is great, let's talk about doing that in Metro West. And so he talked to Ted Welty, who was then the CEO of the chamber, and they got together some area business leaders, some clergy, some attorneys from the area, some judges, and they had a meeting about could they make this work. And the first thing they noticed when they got in the room is they looked around and every single person there was a man. And they said, well, this doesn't work if we're talking about something to help with inclusion and diversity. We've kind of struck out, on our first meeting. So they reached out, they called Nancy King, who was the CEO of Metro West Legal Services. They called Beth Donnelly, who was at Metro West Medical Center as the community liaison, and they brought them in. Then they built the group in a more inclusive fashion, and they decided that what they would like to do is honor youth who had shown themselves to be leaders in making the community a more united community. And they had seen a lot of negative publicity about youth in the news, and they knew that didn't match the kids they knew in the community. And so they decided to start small. First they just looked at Framingham schools, and there was Framingham North and South, and then they had Marion and Keefe Tech. And the event went very well, and they decided to broaden it to the rest of Metro West. And they looked at the towns that were pretty much in the Metro West Chamber of Commerce catchment area. So today we have 17 different public and kids from 17 different public and private schools in that area who receive awards for leadership and diversity. So
I know some of those names. That's really cool that they were there at the start.
Yeah, and I'll mention Reverend Lloyd from Greater Framingham Community Church. He was at the table right from the beginning and is still one of our most active members, so we're really grateful for his leadership.
So the official name of the group is the Alliance for Metro West Unity?
Yes.
How did that name come about?
Well, I wasn't at the table, but I've heard there was a lot of discussion about, what is our mission, what is who are we? Is it a prayer breakfast? Is it a unity breakfast? Is it a youth organization? Is it, educating adults? Is it, what is it? And that was what they negotiated, it was an alliance among many different facets of the community to hopefully promote unity.
And who is this year's keynote?
So this year's keynote is a woman who is an executive at TJX. Her name is Dr. Beverly Edgell, and she has a really wonderful background in corporate diversity, and she's now an organizational development specialist and leads TJX globally across all their operations throughout the world. And she's got a really great background. She also teaches at some of the local colleges, teaches organizational development, including at Framingham State. So we're very, very excited to have her.
And we're running out of time quickly, but can you give us a favorite memory that you have from the breakfast?
Yes, I'm going to try to squeeze in 3. One was one year when one of the lost boys from the Sudan came to speak, and his presentation was just so moving. He had everyone in tears, about what he and the other young men had gone through, and so that stands out as memory. A second is when our 1996 honoree from Framingham High School came back as our keynote speaker in 2016. So 20 years later, she was the keynote speaker and and she's a very accomplished writer and professor and has taken her diversity work into her career. So that was very exciting for all of us. And the third is that I just love to see how the students connect with each other, that they go to 17 different schools, they don't know each other, but at some point during the breakfast I see them take out their phones and exchange contacts. And it's just a really wonderful thing that they're kindred spirits, they're all part of Metro West, and we've given them a chance to know each other and hopefully find other ways to make Metro West a more united place.
Thanks so much for coming in. And if you'll wait right there, the Framingham Beat will be back in just a minute.